Welcome back, adventurers. Joel D.D. Algren here, bringing you another Monster Monday. Today, we are looking at a creature that stalks the nightmares of many villagers, prowling the misty swamps and moors alike. The Headless Blink Hound, an undead fey creature that often runs with the famed DALL-E to hunt for its prey. As always, we will take a look at its traits and abilities, how it works in combat, and a bit of the lore that's surrounding this creature as well. This will hopefully give you some ideas how to use them for your campaigns as well. But before that, I do have a small favor to ask you. If you enjoy my content, please consider subscribing to my channel. It would really mean the world to me to get this channel up and running properly. Okay. Picture this. A small group of adventurers are walking through the mist-covered swamp in the twilight hours. An eerie silence is all that surrounds them. Then, from out of the mist, a ghostly howl pierces the twilight hours. The unmistakable terror howl of the Headless Blink Hound, the prey they are out seeking. A beast that has been terrorizing the locals for months now. The hunt is on. Running through the swamp, however, is not an easy task, as a well-armored fighter gets stuck in the thick mud and falls to his knees. The hound strikes, attacking from the mist, biting the restrained fighter in his arm with its ghostly head, then using its uncanny ability to blink away out of harm's way. Now, that is an opener for sure, a bone-chilling story if I've ever heard one, and a very good introduction to the Headless Blink Hound. As I said, this is an undead fey creature. It used to be a blink dog that is said to be born from a tragic death or foul necromancy. Whether cursed by divine powers or raised by dark magic, the Headless Blink Hound now stalks the eerie swamps in the twilight hours, or hunt in the darkest of forests at night, terrorizing the living, seemingly having an innate sense for where life is and a searing hate for it as well, like a jealousy born from their fate. They hunt mostly alone, rarely in packs. However, reports of them running alongside the famed DALL-E have been recounted enough time that it cannot be dismissed just as hearsay. Whether this is true, one thing is certain. They are a formidable hunter, using the mists and shadows alike to their advantage, as well as their speed. Running in for a quick strike on an isolated target, then blinking away to get out of harm's way immediately. Now, we have looked a little bit here at the lore. Let's take a look at the stats for this creature. It is a CR1 creature with an AC of 14, natural armor of course, an HP pool of 45 to accommodate that as well. It is a medium-sized creature with both the Fey and Undead tag. Something that should be kept in mind, as some abilities like Smite will affect the damage output against this, and the Conjure Fey spell would have the ability to call forth one of these creatures as well. It does not have any skills really to speak of, but it does have a peculiar vulnerability, specifically to cold iron weapons. As a Fey beast, I think this is very thematically sound and might throw players off a bit as well when mundane sword attacks or weapon attacks do more damage than any player does with a magical attack or magical weapon. If you didn't know, it's a pretty common lore trait that Fey are averse to iron. So I think this is absolutely a very thematical thing to throw in here. When it comes to the Headless Hound's trait, it does have a few fun ones. First, we have Detect Life. It works just like it does for the Banshee, giving the Headless Blink Hound the ability to sense living creatures within a 5-mile radius of it. This is what it relies on for hunting. Because yes, it has blind sight up to 60 feet, but beyond that it is blind. However, this ability is almost completely negated thanks to this detect life feature. Salt the Bone is a trait that makes it so that if your players truly want to defeat this beast, they need to have done some research beforehand, as if they do not salt and burn the bones of the Headless Blink Hound, it will rise again. Now, Terror is a small little bonus trait that ties into the unsettling nature of this creature and the unnatural state it is in. Anyone that can see the hound must make a DC 12 wisdom saving throw or be frightened by it as long as they can see it. They do get to make a new saving throw, of course, at the end of their turn, and if they save from this, they are immune to the effect for 24 hours. Ideally also pack in the Undead Fortitude here, just for an extra bit of survivability, and I mean, it is an undead creature, so I think it fits very well. It works just as it does for the zombies that normally has this trait. If the hound drops to 0 hit points, it makes a Constitution saving throw of DC 5 plus whatever damage taken. The difference here is that it happens even if they take radiant damage. Instead, this trait is negated by cold iron damage, so again, mundane weapon damage. Must be iron, of course, and also if they take a critical hit. When it comes to its actions, the Headless Blink Hound only has 2. One, which is its ghostly bite attack. It is a +5 to hit, so an average attack pretty much. It only deals 1d6 plus 2 necrotic damage, but that is combined with a DC 12 Constitution saving. If failed, they have to lower their HP by the amount equal to the damage taken. Although this only lasts until they finish a long rest. This will most likely scare a lot of newer players or lower level parties, as this might be the first time that they come across something with this effect and will not maybe know precisely how to deal with something. Then we have its teleportation ability. It is straight up just ripped from the Blink Hound, works exactly the same. Recharge on a 4, 5 and 6, then the Hound teleports up to 40 feet away using this ability. However, just as a Blink Dog, it does do a bite attack before it does. So, that's the traits and abilities of the Headless Blink Hound as well. Let's talk about how we can use this creature in combat, how it would act. I think keeping in mind both the lore, traits and abilities we have talked about today, the Hound should always seek out any living creature within its range of the Detect Life trait, over using its blind sight to hunt. With both these traits in mind, that means that stealth is pretty much useless against it. It will always attack isolated targets over creatures that stick close together, preferred to take down creatures that have been frightened by its sight first as well, going for the vulnerable ones immediately. It will always utilize hit and run tactics, using its just above average movement speed combined with its teleportation ability to just keep out of range of most average PCs. This can make it a very deadly creature for sure, despite the vulnerability and lower damage output per round. As I said in the lore section earlier, they rarely hunt in packs, but if they are combined with a dual hand, then they will absolutely be a very, very lethal combination. This becomes even more true when you consider the effect of failing the saving throws against the bite attack as well, as this does not only do damage but actually lowers the maximum HP, meaning that healing won't even help in this situation as well. Just a quick side note for the people wondering about stats for the dual hand and things like that in D&D. I'll have a link in the description for the SRD version on it, but there is also a version of it in Van Richten's Guide to Ravenloft book as well. But yeah, that's it, adventurers. That's the Headless Blink Hound, suggested by Universal Music Channel UMC here on YouTube. So one of our followers, their channel will also be linked here in the description below, of course. So what did you think? How will you use this monster in your campaign? Did you find it an interesting creature? Please leave your comments below, your thoughts, your ideas, how you would use this, or if you want to use it as quickly as possible. As always, for Monster Monday, this raw stat block will be over on my Patreon for free until the next Monster Monday. Link in the description, of course. For my $5 patrons, there will be 2 extra PDFs as well. One colorized version with some art as well, made by DALL-E. You know this, I'm not an artist. The lore that I've written for this creature will also be attached to that $5 Patreon tier. And the other block there is the print-friendly version as well. The lore is still there, but the pictures and the colorization of the actual document is taken out for black and white versions, just to make it easier and cheaper to print. Thank you so much all for watching here until the end, and as always, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe if you haven't already. And a very, very special thanks to my first paying patron, Caleb Burke. Thank you so much for joining us. Until next time, adventurers, keep your dice rolling and your imagination flowing.